In the last lecture, we have discussed in detail a very important consequence of Lorentz transformation, and actually, that consequence was the phenomenon of time dilation. Now, today, we are going to explain another consequence of Lorentz transformation, and this is actually regarding to simultaneity of two events. We will see in this lecture that if two events are simultaneous, that is the two events occurs at same time in one reference frame, then that will not actually occur simultaneously in another inertial frame which is in relative motion with respect to the first frame. But how this fact can be explained, we will see in this lecture today. So for discussing the simultaneity of two events, and we will also actually discuss in this lecture the order of events, that if let us say one event is prior to the another event in one frame, then the order of the events remains same in both frames or not. We will also test it. So in fact there are two problems which will be discussed in this lecture. First one will be simultaneity of two events, and second one will be the to test the order of events in the two reference frames. So for this, let us see this figure. You can see we have assumed actually two inertial systems or inertial frames. First one is S and another is S prime. As you have seen in earlier lectures, we always assume that S is a stationary inertial frame and S prime is moving with a uniform velocity v in positive x direction with respect to this frame S. So you can say S and S prime are two inertial frames. Two inertial frames, and S prime is moving. S prime is moving with a uniform velocity let us say v in x direction. When you say x direction, it means positive x direction relative to s, or you can say that this s is moving with respect to this s prime with a velocity v in a negative x direction. Both are actually the same statement. When you say that S prime is moving with velocity v in positive x direction with respect to S, and when you say that S is moving with velocity v relative to S prime in negative x direction, in fact both statements are equivalent to one another. Now let us consider that two events takes place at two different positions. You can see this figure. The first event actually takes place at this point P, let us say, and the another event takes place at the another point Q. It means both the events are not taking place at the same point, but they are taking place at the different points. And the event occurring at point P, when specified by the observer O of frame S, the specifications are x1, y1, z1, t1. It means in reference frame S, you can say the space coordinate of the position of event are x1, y1, z1, and the time when the event takes place at P is t1. In fact, this is the specification of the observer O of frame S for the event occurring at P. And similarly, the observer O, when it specifies the events occurring at point Q, the specifications are x2, y2, z2 and t2. So you can say that what are the specifications of the events taking place at P and Q in frame S. So in frame S, the events at P and Q are at two different positions. In frame S, the events at P and Q are specified as x1, y1, z1, t1 and x2, y2, z2, t2 respectively. And similarly, you can see the events taking place at P and Q when they are specified by the observer O prime of the moving frame S prime. The specifications are what? In fact, specifications of the event taking place at P are x1 prime, y1 prime, z1 prime and t1 prime. And similarly, the specifications for the event taking place at Q in frame S prime are x2 prime, y2 prime, z2 prime and t2 prime. So you also may mention it. So the same events are specified by the observer, O prime, which is actually situated in frame S prime. So the same events are specified by the observer O prime as x1 prime, y1 prime, z1 prime, t1 prime and x2 prime, y2 prime, z2 prime and t2 prime respectively. So these are actually the specifications of the events taking place at P and Q by the observers O and O prime of reference frames S and S prime. Now the space and time coordinates of the event in two reference frames are actually related, by Lorentz transformation equation. So the time coordinate of the two events you can say are connected by Lorentz transformations. Since we have to test actually the simultaneity of events and order of events, so we will write only one Lorentz transformation equation which actually relates the time coordinate to the space coordinate. So you can write from the Lorentz transformation equation. So according to Lorentz transformation, actually in accordance with our problem, we need only one Lorentz transformation connecting the time coordinate and the space coordinate. And you know what is that Lorentz transformation? In fact, such Lorentz transformation is T prime equal to T minus V over C into X over root over 1 minus V square over C square. And we can write this as gamma times T minus V over C square into X. and you know this actually this gamma is equal to 1 over root over 1 minus v square by c square. So this is actually the Lorentz transformation equation connecting the time coordinate to the space coordinate. Now, on the basis of this Lorentz transformation equation, we can write the transformation equation for the time t1 prime and t2 prime. So, on the basis of this equation, you can write what will be this t1 prime. You can see corresponding to t1 prime, the time measured by the observer O in frame S is actually t1, and the space coordinate x for this will be x1, and so this is t1 minus v over c square into x1 and divided by 1 minus v square by c square's square root, and equivalently you can write it that this is gamma times t1 minus v over c square into x1. And similarly, you can write the Lorentz transformation for t2 prime. So let us write the Lorentz transformation for t2 prime. So and we can write t2 prime equal to t2 minus v over c square x2, and let us directly write here gamma. So gamma times t2 minus v over c square into x2. So let us say in fact these two equations is assigned by equation number 1. Now first of all we will test the simultaneity of events, because I have told you in fact that there are actually two problems to deal with today. So first of all I am going to discuss the simultaneity of these two events in the two reference frames. So simultaneity of the two events. Simultaneity of the two events. For this, let us consider that in frame S, the two events, that is the events occurring at P and Q, let us consider that these two events in frame S occur simultaneously. When you say that the events taking place at P and Q occurs simultaneously in frame S, what does it mean? It means the time t1 and t2 measured by the observer O for the event taking place at P and Q will be same. So when t1 and t2 are same, then we say that the events are simultaneous in frame S. So this is just our supposition. We actually assume it that the events are taking place simultaneously in frame S and then we will actually test that if the two events are simultaneous in frame S, then is it simultaneous in S prime or not? We will test it. So let the two events are simultaneous. Two events are simultaneous in frame S. What does it mean? When you say that the two events are simultaneous in frame S, it means you are telling that T1 is equal to T2. In fact, we are assuming it. I have written here let. It means we assume that the two events takes place simultaneously in frame S. It means we are considering that T1 is equal to T2. This is our supposition. Now we will actually test that these two events which are actually simultaneous in frame S, so these two events are then simultaneous in frame S prime or not. We will test it, and for this we can see the values of the time measured by the observer O prime for these two events, and actually those times are T1 prime and T2 prime. So when T1 is equal to T2, then see equation 1. From equation 1, you can see T1 prime, which is actually the time measured by the observer O prime for first event, and T2 prime, which is time measured by the observer O prime for the second event. Actually, these two times will be not same. Why? For this, let us see the equation 1. You can see T1 prime is T1 minus V over C square x1 times gamma. And T2 prime, this is gamma times T2 minus V over C square into x2. Since we have assumed that T1 is equal to T2, but you know x1 and x2 are not equal because the two events are taking place at different positions. So if x1 and x2 are not equal, so it is clear from this equation 1 that T1 prime and T2 prime will be not same, not equal, even when T1 is equal to T2. So you can say T1 prime is not equal to T2 prime. Why? Because as x1 is not equal to x2. So as T1 prime is not equal to T2 prime, we can say that the events are not simultaneous in frame S prime. Although they are simultaneous in frame S, but the same two events are not simultaneous in frame S. So our conclusion is what? So the events which are simultaneous in frame S are not simultaneous in frame S prime. So the two events which are actually simultaneous in frame S are not simultaneous in frame S prime. Now in fact we will consider this is, let us consider the first situation when we actually consider that the two events are simultaneous in frame S, and in that condition we find that the events are not simultaneous in frame S prime. Now let us just suppose the reverse situation. Now we will actually consider that the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime, and then we will test that the two events is simultaneous in frame S or not. And for this we will actually need to write the inverse Lorentz transformation. So now according to inverse Lorentz transformation, and again we will actually consider the Lorentz transformation equation connecting the time and the space coordinate. And so you know from the inverse Lorentz transformation that T is equal to gamma times T prime plus V over C square into X prime. This is actually the inverse Lorentz transformation. And so on the basis of this inverse Lorentz transformation, you can write expression for T1 and T2. So what will be T1? You can see gamma will remain same, and at the place of t prime. Now in case of t1 we will write t1 prime and plus v over c square, and at the place of x prime we will write x1 prime. And again you can write another transformation for t2, and t2 will be what? This will be simply gamma times t2 prime plus v over c square into x2 prime. So these are actually the transformation equations connecting the time coordinate of frame S and S prime, and also a space coordinate measured in S prime. So from this these two transformation equation, now we will test that if we consider that the two events are simultaneous in frame S, not S but in frame S prime, then if they are simultaneous in frame S or not, you will again find that the two events which are actually simultaneous in frame S prime will be not simultaneous in frame S. You will find it. So let us see how it is possible. So let the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime. We are considering that the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime. And when you say that the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime, what does it mean? It means we have considered that T1 prime is equal to T2 prime. Actually, this is our supposition. Now we will test that T1 and T2 are equal or not. You will find that they will be not equal. And for this you can see this equation, let us say number 2, as you can see here, although this T1 prime is equal to T2 prime in accordance with our supposition, but since x1 prime is not equal to x2 prime, so on the basis of this equation 2 you can say that T1 will be not equal to T2. So, so if T1 prime is equal to T2 prime, then from equation 2 we can see, from this equation 2, T1 is not equal to T2. Why? Because we know x1 prime is not equal to x2 prime. And if T1 is not equal to T2, it means the events are not simultaneous in frame S. So this result implies that the events are not simultaneous in frame S. So what you have seen? You have seen that if the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime, then they are not simultaneous in frame S. And similarly, when we have actually considered that the two events are simultaneous in frame S, then we have found that the two events are not simultaneous in frame S prime. So our conclusion is that if the two events takes place at different positions, then if the two events are simultaneous in one reference frame, then they will be not simultaneous in another reference frame if there is a relative motion or relative velocity between the two reference frames. So this is our conclusion. Now we will deal with the another problem of today, and that is regarding the order of events. So our another problem is to test the order of events. Order of events. In fact, to test the order of events in two reference frames, let us see again equation 1, and we will actually find the difference of the times of the time at which the events actually takes place. And for this, let us consider that the observer is observing the two events from the two inertial frames, and let that in frame S the event at point P actually takes place earlier, and event at Q takes place some later time. So we consider that at point P the first event takes place, and at the second point Q actually the second event takes place, and that event takes place later on. So this is our supposition. So let event at P takes place first, and that at Q later in frame S. In fact, the observer of the frame SO finds that the event at point P takes place first and event at point Q takes place later. So, in fact, in this condition, you can see in accordance with our supposition that T2 will be greater than T1, because in frame S, event at P takes place at time T1 and event at Q takes place at time T2, and we have assumed that the observer of frame S finds that event at point P takes place earlier and at Q takes place later. So in accordance with our supposition, this T2 is greater than T1. Yes, so you can say that T2 is greater than T1 in accordance with our supposition. Now actually our aim is to test that the order of these two events are same in another frame S prime or not. It means if the event at P takes place earlier and at Q takes place at later time in frame S, then this order is maintained in frame S prime or not. Actually, we are going to test it. And for this, we will find the difference of the times corresponding to these two events in frame S prime. So now from equation 1, you can see your equation 1 here. This is actually equation 1 where we have actually defined T1 prime and T2 prime. You can see. And now we are going to actually find the difference of these two times. So from equation 1, you can see T2 prime minus T1 prime will be what? See the equation 1 and you can see that this T2 prime minus T1 prime will be simply equal to gamma will be a common factor, and here actually is T2 minus V over C square into X2 minus T1 minus V over C square into X1. You can see equation 1. Now you can write this will be equal to gamma into. Let us arrange the terms inside the bracket. We can write it as T2 minus T1, and in these two terms you can take this minus V by C square as a common factor. So this is minus v over c square, taking it as a common factor, the terms will be here x2 minus x1. This is just a simple algebra, you can see. And so this t2 prime minus t1 prime is equal to this much. Let us say this is equation 3. Now from this equation 3, actually we can test what will be the order of the event in frame S prime when we know the order of the two events in frame S. And in fact, in this regard, there will be actually there are actually three possibilities, but you will see that all the three possibilities we will actually discuss. In fact, the last possibility will be actually not possible, but let us for a time being assume that there are three possibilities. You can see from the form of this equation that we can consider the three possibilities. So the possibility number 1, we consider this as a case number 1. This is case 1. And in this case 1, we actually consider that the term inside this square bracket, these are actually the terms inside the square bracket. Let us consider in first case that these terms inside the square bracket is 0. So in case first, if t2 minus t1 is equal to v over c square, v over c square into x2 minus x1. If t2 minus t1 is equal to this much, then you can see the term inside the square bracket will be 0, and then what will be this t2 prime minus t1 prime. This will be in fact gamma times 0, and this will be 0. And if it is 0, it means t1 prime is equal to t2 prime. So what does it mean? It means actually that the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime, although they are not simultaneous in frame S, because we have assumed, you can see here, our assumption is what? Our assumption is that the event at P takes place earlier and event at Q takes place after some time. So T2 is greater than T1. But when we consider that the terms inside the square bracket actually vanishes, in fact, in that condition, we find that the time measured for the two events from frame S are same, and so we can say that the order of the events in another frame S prime is same. Same means both events are actually taking place at the same time in frame S. So you can say that these two events are actually simultaneous in frame S prime. So this result implies the two events are simultaneous in frame S prime. Two events are simultaneous in frame S prime. This is actually possibility number 1. Now we consider the another possibility. In fact, in this possibility, we consider that this T2 minus T1 is greater than V over C square into X2 minus X1. So if T2 minus T1 is greater than V over C square into x2 minus x1, then you can see the difference of t2 minus t1 and b over c square x2 minus x1, which is inside actually the square bracket, that will be positive, and gamma is also a positive number. So in this condition, you can see from the equation number 3 that if t2 minus t1 is greater than b over c square into x2 minus x1, then this term inside the square bracket will be positive. Gamma is also a positive number, so t2 prime minus t1 prime will be positive, and when you say positive, it means it will be greater than 0. So then you can say that t2 prime minus t1 prime, this is greater than 0, or you may call it positive. And this implies this t2 prime is greater than t1 prime. So see, this is the actually physically possible result. t2 prime has been found greater than t1 prime. And what was our assumption? Our assumption was that t2 is greater than t1. You can see from here, we have assumed it that in frame S, the event taking place at P is taking place earlier, and at Q, the event takes place sometime later. So T2 is greater than T1. And so when we assume that T2 is greater than T1, then in this condition we find that T2 prime is also greater than T1 prime. So this result shows that the order of the events in the two reference frames are same. So this result implies the order of the two events are same in both frames. The order will be same in both frames. So this is the second case. Now we will see the third situation or third possibility. Case third. In fact, in case third, we consider the situation just opposite to the case 2. In fact, in case 2, we have assumed that t2 minus t1 is greater than b over c square into x2 minus x1. But let us consider now in case 3 that this t2 minus t1 is less than b over c square into x2 minus x1. Or you can say that this b over c square x2 minus x1 is greater than t2 minus t1. So let us consider it. So if b over c square into x2 minus x1 is greater than t2 minus t1. So you can see in that condition, the term inside this square bracket will be actually negative, and gamma is a positive number. So when you will multiply this positive number gamma by the negative quantity, the result will be actually negative. So in this condition, you can see that this t2 prime minus t1 prime will be what? This t2 prime minus t1 prime, this will be less than 0, that is negative. And when you say that t2 prime minus t1 prime is negative, it means t2 prime is less than t1 prime. So this implies t2 prime is less than t1 prime. And if t2 prime is less than t1 prime, what actually it implies? You can see this result shows that the event taking place at point Q takes place earlier, and the event taking place at point P takes place in fact later. So you can see the order of the two events has been just reversed in frame S prime, because we have assumed that the order of event in frame S is what? Actually, the event at P takes place earlier and at Q takes place sometime later, but the reverse order is found in frame S prime, and this is actually possible. This will be actually possible only when we assume that b over c square x2 minus x1 is greater than t2 minus t1. So this result implies that the order of the events are just reversed. It means the observer O of frame S will say that event at P takes place earlier, but the observer O prime of the moving frame S prime will say that the event at P will take place later, just reverse. And you can see actually this is completely unphysical. It is completely unphysical. It is in fact in this world, in the world in which we live, it is not possible, because the event's order must be in fact same in any reference frame. And if it is possible, you can see that it will be if such a situation will occur, then in the moving frame an observer will say that a bird is actually dead before the firing of the gun. Before the firing of the gun, the bird will be heated. It means the gun is not fired, bullet does not hit to the bird, but bird died. So this is actually completely unphysical, and it is not possible in this physical world. It may be possible in any imaginary world, but in this real physical world, the order of event must be same. But now we can see if it is possible, then what will happen in the world where the order of events will be reversed. Actually, what will happen in that world, we can test from the condition which we have actually assumed. So in fact, the order of events are just reversed, but it is completely unphysical. Because you know, always the cause always precedes the effect. When any thing takes place, there is some cause of that phenomenon, and always first cause takes place and then event takes place. But in accordance with this, first of all, the effect will be experienced and then its cause. But this is completely unphysical. In this real world, such a phenomenon does not take place. So we say that the order of events cannot be reversed. So our conclusion is that the order of event will be not reversed. It should be remain same as in frame S, so it should be in frame S prime. So order of events must be same in both frames. It cannot be in reverse order. But let us see that what happens actually in this case. So what is our assumption when we get this result? Our assumption was that b over c square into x2 minus x1 is greater than t2 minus t1. So in this condition, v over c square into x2 minus x1 is greater than t2 minus t1. Now you know, since v is always less than c, c is the speed of light in free space, and you know this is in fact ultimate speed. So as we know, v is less than c always. And if v is always less than c, if you in extreme condition consider that v is equal to c, then this v over c square will be actually equal to 1 over c, if we assume that v is equal to c. So if v is less than c, then definitely this 1 over c into x2 minus x1, this will be greater than t2 minus t1. And if this result is possible, then you can say that x2 minus x1, this will be greater than c into t2 minus t1. And actually what this result implies, you can see c into t2 minus t1. Here actually this is c into t2 minus t1. This is actually the distance described by a signal moving with a speed of light c. And here this distance x2 minus x1 is greater than this distance covered by the light signal. So this result actually shows that there is some signal which is faster than light. So this result implies there is a signal faster than light. But as I have told you in the introductory lecture of special relativity, that till date no experiment has been performed in which it has been found that any signal travels at a speed greater than the speed of light. In fact, the research of till date actually confirms that the speed of light in vacuum is the ultimate speed. No signal or no material particle can travel at a speed greater than this c. So it is not possible that any signal can travel faster than light. But when you say that the order of event will be reversed, then there must be a signal which should travel at a speed greater than the speed of light. But since it is not practically possible, so we conclude that no signal can travel at a speed greater than the speed of light. And if no signal can travel at a speed greater than the speed of light, then t2 prime cannot be less than t1 prime. And so the order of event cannot be reversed. Actually, as I have told you, such phenomenon of reversal of the order of event may take place in an imaginary world. In an imaginary world means a world where a signal travels at a speed greater than the speed of light. So if you imagine there is a world where a signal actually travels at a speed greater than a speed of light, in fact in such a world it is possible that the order of event will be just reversed, or in fact in such a world a person will die before his birth, or you can say a bird will die before the firing of a gun. Such in fact phenomenon may take place in such a world where any signal travels at a speed greater than a speed of light in free space. But in our real world where we live actually, no signal travels at a speed greater than a speed of light. So in this world it is not possible that the order of the two events will be reversed. So our final conclusion is what? Our final conclusion is that the order of the two events in two inertial frames remain same. This is our conclusion. Conclusion. What is conclusion? The order of the two events remain same in two inertial systems. In two inertial system, actually the order of the two events will remain same. So this is all about the simultaneity of two events and the order of two events. Actually, after this lecture, in next lecture we will discuss a very important concept of special relativity, which is actually regarding the relativistic velocity addition theorem, and or you can say the relativistic velocity transformation or Lorentz velocity transformation.